Hey Taurus! I hope you're doing fantastic. You have the Empress, so blessings, big time blessings. Also a very loving energy, looking at, the world with love or light or love and light. This could be you, this could be people around you, this could be an energy you're moving into. But again, the Empress is a very loving, very nurturing energy. This can also talk about kids. So some of you may be, wanting kids, some of you may be with children. Some of you may be, pregnant, etc. But the Empress is a beautiful card to start off because again, this is somebody who has just learned that you're lucky to lead the path you have, even if there's been ups and downs, even if there's people missing from it or people that you're thinking about and not with. This is an incredible amount of love. There's wealth and abundance, and many things that are surrounding you are going to be more present in your life. And so this is just saying, breathe it in and appreciate it, and see the blessings that are going to start coming your way. The next card you have is your current position coming into the month, and you have the Ten of Pentacles. So right after the Empress, having the Ten of Pentacles is a pretty big deal. The Ten of Pentacles is a lifelong energy. The Ten of Pentacles is a legacy. This is generation after generation. So this is finding and being with somebody either from the past or present. We'll see a little more as the cards unfold. But the Ten of Pentacles is being with somebody who this is forever. Now, whether this is what you're looking for now, and you're going after it with the kindness of the Empress, the love of the Empress, no grudges, no finger pointing, regardless of past, present, or future. The Ten of Pentacles, though, again, this is long term, something coming in. This isn't a game. This isn't, just a fly by the seat of the pants. This is something that either you're really searching for heavily, or something that you're going to be involved in very soon. The next card you have is how you're feeling coming into the month. And you have the Justice card, which is Libra's card. So you could be dealing with a Libra or have Libra placements in your chart. And Libra had an amazing read. Maybe their energies intertwined with yours, or again, maybe you have placements in Libra. But the Justice card talks about, the scales being finally weighted in a succinct or even manner. The Justice card talks about not having to rush into anything, not having to, there's no expectation here, but there is the side note of, again, not needing to run or not needing to rush into anything, but understanding what's fair, what's just, what's right, and knowing what it is you want, and knowing what it is, you're going for. And finally feeling as though maybe like luck is on your side, or the blessings are on your side, and you're getting what it is that you want. Because this is saying, don't jump to conclusions based on emotions. There's time to think through everything and making decisions that you want. And your heart with the Justice card may be pulled in like thousands of different directions, but you will see the options in front of you and go from there. Again, it's not rushing, and it's understanding that you have different choices and staying true to what you want. The Justice card can also represent marriage. I'm just throwing that out there as well. So either you're marriage minded, or you may have marriage coming to fruition at some point, or that's the start of your year, is, hey, this is the year where, whether you want to be married or partnered or whatever the case may be, this is the beginning. The next card you have is your distant past, or the past 5-10 years throughout your childhood. Interesting here, you have the Wheel of Fortune, because this is distant past, and the Wheel of Fortune represents a karmic twist on the wheel. Unplanned changes, things that you can't control, something that's coming towards you that maybe the universe presents it to you just like bam, right in your face. Other times you kind of have to, you want to go this direction, and the universe is like, well, we're going to take a detour here and a detour here and a detour here. Maybe you've been on the detours, and now you're starting to come to the, point that you wanted to be at. Again, the Wheel of Fortune represents some sort of karmic connection as well. So this could be a past connection, because this is the past placement. This is a past placement card, but also because the wheel can move backwards or forwards. And again, when the divine timing aspect comes in, that can be meeting somebody new, but it can also be, hey, finally our worlds collide and they make sense together. The next card you have is your immediate past. So over the past 2 weeks, past month or two, this is putting a plan in motion. You have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is goals. It's you know, groundbreaking. This is, as I was talking about, knowing where you're going and what you want, knowing what your options are, and then thinking it through and being wise about it. The Two of Wands says, okay, I want to set some goals. I want to make some moves in my life, but where am I going? What am I doing? What does that look like for me? So the Two of Wands does say that you've been focused pretty heavily on, you know, long-term legacy with this Ten of Pentacles and the Two of Wands coming up. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months, and you have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is being at peace. The Four of Swords is rest, recuperation, relaxation. This again goes along with the do not rush factor over here and finding what's going to feel good and keep you at peace. You know, if you're with somebody and you're constantly like, ugh, uncomfortable, is this text going to come through okay? Is the, you know, figuring out the bumps or the butterflies versus, you know, the rocks in your stomach. If you're with somebody, do they uplift you or not that you're meeting them or expecting somebody to be, you know, oh, I had a bad day and it's your fault. It's not that type of energy. It's more of a congruent, when I'm around this person, how do I feel? And how do I make them feel too? It's reciprocal. A lot of times we think, well, how do I feel when I'm around this person? Well, you may feel great, but how do they feel when they're around you? So the Four of Swords, figuring out the energies around you, the options you have, and then what really makes sense in your life, what really is going to kind of put the icing on the cake, because a lot of you have been focused on yourself and where you're going and what you're doing and taking time out and just and breathing and getting spiritual again, or you know, maybe getting in shape or doing different things that make you feel good. And now it's time to incorporate maybe somebody else. The next card you have is your immediate future. So, and you have the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is stability. This is like, it's almost saying you're on top of your game, and now you're looking for somebody who matches that or energy, or you may be finding somebody who matches that energy fairly soon. Because again, the King of Pentacles is somebody who has their shit together. They know what they're doing, and you know what you're doing, and you're feeling like, okay, I'm at that point where I'm ready to introduce somebody into my life. I'm ready to have that, because some of you already feel like, well, I have a decent job, or I have, you know, my kids and my life kind of squared away, but now I want to move forward with confidence, and this is a very stable, calm demeanor, and this is, you know, don't worry about making all the right choices. Make sure you're like, don't, you know, basically don't second guess yourself. If something feels right or feels good or makes sense right now, then make that choice. A lot of people think that if they make a choice, especially about people, that all of a sudden that, you know, if I make a decision about this past person, never talking to them again, and I go with this future person, then this past will go away forever and it'll never come back. Or if I choose the past and not the present, there's no chance I'll ever meet anybody else. It doesn't work that way. It's divine timing. It's when things are supposed to happen. The next card you have is anything tangible throughout the month, and you have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is logic, clarity, power. This is you really seeing things for what they are. Scorpio, this is you really having the power to bring to fruition what it is you want. And when I say seeing things clearly, there's definitely well, I don't want to say definitely, but for some of you, there's two people involved. There's somebody from the past, somebody from the present, and for some of you, you haven't even thought about love at all. You're just kind of like, I have too many other things going on. I have too many other issues that need to be taken care of. And now that you've gotten like your ducks in a row, the Ace of Swords is saying, okay, well, it might be time to, you know, see what's out there. I've been feeling, you know, a little frisky, or maybe, you know, didn't want to really be alone for the holidays. It would be nice to have some romance, but taking care of business was what was important. And now the Ace of Swords is saying, okay, well, come out swinging maybe and see what's out there. The next card you have is how you're feeling throughout the month. And you have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is, you know, wake up and smell the molasses, or the coffee or whatever you want to say. What is that? Not wake up and smell the molasses. I forget what it is, but I don't think it's wake up and smell the coffee either. But the Page of Pentacles talks about, you know, now's the time to really make a move if you're ready. Now's the time to say, hey, you know, the Page of Pentacles says wake up. Like, there's no more excuses. Put the pedal to the metal. Where are you going? Where do you want to be? Now's the time to, you know, start making that, start seeing it through. Again, you know, this is changing, making things happen, and taking advantage of opportunities that come your way. So there's going to be some opportunities coming your way. I really do feel like there's a lot of new love coming towards you. There may be a past love as well, but this Page of Pentacles is suggesting, you know, that you seek, and not like, oh, go out there and look for everybody and try and find, you know, Mr. Wonderful and Mrs. Wonderful. I'm not saying it like that necessarily, but like, get your feet wet. The Page of Pentacles is saying, what are you doing? Like, now's the time. You know, there's no day like today to, you know, possibly meet somebody or have new experiences. For some of you, this is very it's coming across as very very new. Like, this is something you haven't done in a long time, and you finally decided, okay, new situation, you know, new love. The next card you have is your hopes and fears for the outcome, and you have the Eight of Cups. So your fear is that it's going to be slow and stagnant and disappointing, because the Eight of Cups is like, look, I'm looking for my cup. I don't want all these other cups. Possibly an ex that you're like, no, you know what, we've been there, done that. I also don't want to go through like a bunch of dating sites and a bunch of online dating, but you do still have to, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, people don't fall into your lap. I mean, unless you're really lucky, people don't fall into your lap. So there is that, putting the time and energy into it. And some of you are worried, like, if I put the time and energy into it, what if I'm not, you know, what if I don't find somebody? What if I'm not, you know, there's nobody out there. I'm not feeling, you know, very, like, satisfied with the options or the choices, or you get my point. But the Eight of Cups, again, it's just your hopes or fears, or things that maybe you're thinking about, or that are helping you along, or possibly, you know, kind of keeping you at bay. So don't let this, you know, ruin the chance that there is an opportunity to meet somebody out there. The next card you have is the Three of Wands. So you moved from the Two of Wands, which is a couple months ago, where you were thinking about, you know, what you would like in your life, your goals, where you see yourself going, to the Three of Wands, where you're actually partnering with somebody. So either you've already started meeting people, you're going to start meeting people. There's definitely a switch, again, going from the Two of Wands to the Three of Wands. As the Three of Wands is now taking these goals and partnering and moving forward with, the Three of Wands is planning, it's partnership, it's growth, it's moving forward with somebody. Now, very interesting, you have the Wheel of Fortune here twice coming out, which again is divine timing, and it does feel like it's somebody coming back from the past. For some of you, it's new energy, and there might be a little bit of both, but now that you have the Death card, there's a rebirth situation going on here, especially with that Wheel of Fortune. Again, like I said, in the past and now coming to the present, that's somebody from the past coming forward from, you know, from the past to the present. Well, and this is actually to the future. And then you have the Death card here, which is changes, transformation, rebirth. It does feel like there could be somebody who comes through who possibly, you know, is very tempting. You have choices here. You have choices here because the Seven of Cups is temptations, options, having different choices in front of you. That screams very much new energies and old energies coming through, having the Seven of Cups here. The Death card represents, again, the rebirth between you and somebody else. But what's interesting here is you have the Two of Wands, and this is kind of sticking to your guns. You're not going to partnership or plan or move forward with anybody that it just doesn't feel right, or that it doesn't, you're not in any rush. There's certain things you want, this legacy energy, and for some of you, the past doesn't represent that. It won't represent that. You know that that's not something you guys could have together, and for others, you could have that together, but you're keeping this Two of Wands energy before you move to the Three of Wands energy, because the Two of Wands, as I said, is like, you're planning, you know where you're going, you know where you want to go, and you definitely want to partner with somebody, but it needs to be the right person. A lot of past energy coming in, but not only the past energy, with the Seven of Cups, having options, having other people come to fruition, not just the past energy. And then your Oracle card is the Owl, okay, which is wisdom. So this is saying, you know, be wise in your decision. Some of you have gotten over the past and moved forward, and all of a sudden they're going to come in. Isn't it divine timing? Isn't that what happens when we're cultivated into a new life and feeling better about a situation? We've gotten over somebody or whatnot. When all of a sudden there's the knock on the door, and you're like, really? Didn't I just fucking get over you right now? I don't, it's not gonna be negative, but it might even be laughable, because for some reason right now I want to like chuckle and laugh and giggle, almost like, I haven't talked to you in a year and a half. I knew you'd be back, or I haven't talked to you in forever, and now you're coming back, when I'm like, I've moved on with my life, I've possibly met somebody new. So it'll be interesting, choose wisely on which direction you want to go. But make sure, because for a lot of you, you don't want the past to repeat itself. So make sure that's not, you're not hopping back on that merry-go-round. All right, I will see you soon. Bye.